I've been that guy. While you was at home doing this, I was in the club.
Rounds. I'd be surprised if he even makes it out of 2 rounds.
You'd be surprised if he makes it out of 2 rounds.
I just have too much power, too much speed, and with my coaching staff the past year and a half, working with them every single day, I've become literally a new fighter. This is what I manifested.
Anthony Joshua recently embarrassed Jake Paul after some training footage of Paul was leaked. Joshua said Paul's movement looked bad and hinted that some people are fooling themselves about his abilities. He also mentioned concerns about the long-term impact of fighting at that level. Overall, Joshua made it clear that Jake Paul is nowhere close to him in skill or mindset.
They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some...
Johnny Nelson is completely right. This fight isn't about showing off Jake Paul, it's about showing how dominant Anthony Joshua really is. Joshua's mindset, drive, and professionalism are on a whole different level. Even if Jake Paul manages to land one lucky punch, Joshua's experience and skill will overshadow it immediately. This isn't just a fight, it's a reminder of the levels in the sport. And Jake Paul is already losing before the first bell rings.
It's not about Jake Paul, it's about AJ. It's about AJ's mentality when he walks in, it's about his hunger when he walks in, it's about his professionalism when he walks in. So we're all going to be watching AJ, not Jake Paul, and that's where the criticism is going to be, because Jake Paul could get in the ring, fall over, bang his head and knock himself out. Fight's over. Whereas AJ, even if he gives Jake Paul 30 seconds...
Jake Paul talks a lot, but words won't close the huge gap between him and Anthony Joshua. AJ isn't some made-up warrior for promotion. He's a 2-time heavyweight champion and an Olympic gold medalist. Paul's dramatic talk about life or death moments might be entertaining, but Joshua doesn't need any hype. His calm, controlled power speaks for itself. This matchup is fantasy versus reality, and things are already heavily in Joshua's favor.
Saw him against Francis Ngannou, right?
Yeah, he's a beast. I want something that wakes me up. I want to wake up and be like, oh man, my life's on the line. That type of shit excites me, bro. I need that challenge. I need that crazy, badass, we're going to war 300 Spartan shit. It's in my soul. It's in my DNA, and so I think that...
Anthony Joshua doesn't even take Jake Paul seriously as an opponent. He makes that very clear. Jake Paul isn't anywhere close to his level. Joshua's dominance isn't an opinion, it's a fact. Hearing him say this feels like watching a real heavyweight champion teach a lesson to someone trying to be one, humbling him before the fight even starts.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
Moses Atalma explains it really well. Jake Paul might have impressed some people, but compared to Anthony Joshua, the difference is huge. AJ's experience, Olympic background, and world titles put him on another level. Jake Paul is a decent YouTuber turned boxer, but Joshua is in a completely different league, and everyone watching can see that.
I don't think anybody's expecting anything from Jake Paul. Like, he's fighting an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. But this YouTuber, like, do you know what? You gotta take your hat off to Jake Paul. He's done amazing. He's done very well. And even me, I don't think he's a bad boxer. You know, I actually think he's a decent boxer, but you're not on the caliber.
David Hay doesn't hold back. Jake Paul is nowhere near Anthony Joshua. Physically, mentally, and technically, there's no comparison. Joshua is a top-class heavyweight and world-class athlete, while Paul is already outmatched before the fight even starts. Just looking at them makes it clear that Paul is in for a tough time.
Jake Paul can come 15–20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
The David versus Goliath comparison fits perfectly. Jake Paul is tall and athletic, but Anthony Joshua is a huge heavyweight with incredible size and power. This isn't really a fight, it's a lesson in strength and dominance. Paul is stepping into a world where he just can't compete, either physically or mentally.
So Jake Paul is the bigger in this equation. Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220. Probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big unit. And I think Jake realized that when they came face to face. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes, but I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very big dude who isn't coming to play.
Even Jake Paul knows the scary truth. Anthony Joshua's power isn't just talk. He's proven it against the best in the world. You can see Paul's fear because he knows fighting AJ is on a whole different level. This isn't bravado. It's a young YouTuber facing an Olympic champion who could easily dominate him.
With fights that have literally ended in seconds. He's fought legends: Klitschko, Usyk, Ruiz, Ngannou.
Biggest shot I have seen live.
Not gonna lie.
Anthony Joshua is showing exactly how he will dominate. He's going to show Jake Paul skills and techniques Paul has never seen before. This isn't just a fight, it's a masterclass. AJ's experience and strategy will make Paul look completely out of his league, and the lesson will be harsh and unforgettable.
Heavy punches, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to expose him to certain tricks in boxing that he may not have seen yet, and I'm going to bring him to another school of boxing that I don't think.
Usyk explains it harshly. Anthony Joshua is an Olympic champion and a proven heavyweight, while Jake Paul is just a YouTuber who never went through the amateur ranks. Usyk says this fight could end in one round. AJ's power and experience are enough to crush Paul's hype before the fight even starts.
People complaining about AJ taking that fight. Obviously, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Do you see something wrong with AJ taking that fight?
This is just a lot of money, just a show.
Right.
This is not interesting sport because, guys, brothers, Anthony is Olympic champion.
Right.
Jake, it's just sportsman. Yeah, YouTuber. Jake do a lot of work. Special coach, special food, a lot of exercise, new.
Yes.
But this is guy don't have a mother fights.
Right.
Never
Right.
a mother fights. Maybe them wrestling, now professional, but Joshua, Anthony Joshua, it's Olympic champion.
So how long does that fight last?
Listen, my opinion, it's one round. Because Anthony, twice. My fight twice. Jab.
Very hard.
Yeah, look. You know, this is.
And still from this fight.
This jab.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn doesn't hold back. He calls it ridiculous that Jake Paul thinks he can survive against Anthony Joshua. Hearn predicts total destruction, saying AJ's skill and power will completely expose Paul. This isn't just talk, it's the harsh reality of experience versus hype in the heavyweight division.
He's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Duke McKenzie points out the harsh truth. Anthony Joshua takes nothing lightly, and Jake Paul is way outmatched. This isn't just about size, it's about skill, precision, and ring IQ. A trained Olympic champion versus a YouTuber makes the fight extremely one-sided, with AJ dominating both mentally and physically.
I don't think Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul lightly any way, shape or form, and he'd be so easy to hit. You're talking about a trained athlete.
Duke McKenzie points out the harsh truth. Anthony Joshua takes nothing lightly, and Jake Paul is way outmatched. This isn't just about size, it's about skill, precision, and ring IQ. A trained Olympic champion versus a YouTuber makes the fight extremely one-sided, with AJ dominating both mentally and physically.
God help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white-collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury.
Joe Rogan makes it clear that Jake Paul is stepping into a nightmare. Facing an Olympic gold medalist with huge size and knockout power is nothing like his YouTube fights. Watching Anthony Joshua beat Ngannou shows how outclassed Paul will be. AJ's speed, power, and technique are overwhelming. Paul has never faced someone who can read, anticipate, and punish every mistake instantly. Rogan's breakdown shows this is a total mismatch. Paul will be exposed right away, and it's only a matter of time before the result is obvious.
What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Boy, you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist. He's enormous and he's got vicious knockout power, and you take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're gonna fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Watch this. So he drops him with a right hand early, and this is 2 minutes into the first round. Francis gets gets up, he survives, and then check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, he probably has no idea.
Carl Froch doesn't hold back. Anthony Joshua may not be at his peak, but his fundamentals, precision, and power are still deadly. Jake Paul can't handle an opponent who can control distance, fake, and hit with perfect timing. Paul has already been exposed against real fighters, like when he lost to Tommy Fury. Froch predicts a one-round demolition. This isn't just talk, it's a realistic expectation because of the huge skill gap. Joshua's experience and technique make him unstoppable, and Paul isn't ready to survive against such a professional.
Happen. This is a one-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying.
Johnny Nelson points out the reality of size and skill. Anthony Joshua isn't just the favorite. He's expected to completely dominate. The focus is on AJ because he's the real athlete and champion. Jake Paul is a YouTuber stepping far above his level. Nelson makes it clear that AJ controlling and blasting Paul isn't just likely, it's expected. Paul has no room for mistakes, and Joshua's physical and technical superiority makes this fight heavily favor AJ from the very start.
He's bigger than Jake Paul in our world. So there'll be more of a judgment on Anthony Joshua than there will be on Jake Paul, because Anthony Joshua is expected to get this boy blasted.
Eddie Alapo's prediction is blunt and fearless. Anthony Joshua is expected to dominate from the first bell, and the fight could be over in less than a minute. Paul doesn't have the experience, skill, or power to handle even the opening attack. AJ's timing, precision, and knockout ability make a quick ending almost certain. This is a one-sided fight where hype meets real boxing mastery. Everyone watching knows Joshua's superiority will show almost immediately. Jake Paul is stepping into a fight made to humiliate him and boost AJ's legacy even more.
Predictions for the fight?
AJ will start the fight. The referee will say, come to the center of the ring. AJ will walk back. He will go over and knock out Jake Paul in about 45 seconds.
Anthony Joshua completely outclassed Jake Paul, and leaked training footage plus expert analysis confirm it. Every expert, from Spencer Oliver to Olad Depatipo, says the same thing. Jake Paul is hopelessly outmatched. AJ's power, skill, and Olympic background make this fight completely one-sided. Paul's YouTube experience and lack of real amateur training leave him open to every punch and combination Joshua can throw. From size to precision, Joshua is a master in the ring, while Paul is out of his depth. This isn't hype, it's a harsh reality. Fans, don't miss seeing Anthony Joshua dominate Jake Paul and show why he's one of boxing's true giants.